All right, welcome back. Today, we're going to break down the core ideas from a book that's, frankly, a legend in the financial independence world. J.L. Collins' The Simple Path to Wealth. So let's just jump right in with the single most important idea in the entire book. Because honestly, everything else is built on this foundation. It's not about being flashy or having fancy stuff. As Collins puts it, money can buy many things, but nothing more valuable than your freedom. This idea right here is the guiding star for this whole philosophy. So what does that freedom actually look like? Well, Collins gives it a pretty unforgettable name: FU money. And this is the real goal. It's not just about not working anymore. It's about having options. It's about having enough money in the bank that you can just walk away from a terrible job or a bad situation without a second thought. It's really about owning your own time, which is, the most valuable thing any of us have. Okay, so if the goal is that simple and that powerful, what's stopping most of us from getting there? Well, the book points a finger at one big villain: needless complexity. Collins's argument is pretty blunt. The whole financial industry basically makes money by making you feel like investing is this super complicated, scary thing. And why do they do that? Well, because when you're confused and nervous, you run to them for help and you pay their hefty fees. That complexity isn't for you, it's for them. And to cut through all that manufactured confusion, the book uses this absolutely brilliant analogy. Just think of the stock market like a big mug of beer. You've got the beer itself, that's the real stuff, the actual businesses you own a piece of. And then you've got the foam on top. That's all the daily price swings, the screaming headlines, the market noise. The key is you're investing for the beer, not the foam. And what happens when you start focusing on that foam? Well, it leads you straight into these classic wealth-destroying mistakes. You start thinking you can outsmart everyone, that you can time the market perfectly, or you just freak out and sell at the worst possible moment. These are the exact traps this simple path helps you step right over. So how do we actually do that? How do we ignore all that foam and just focus on the beer? Well, the book offers up this beautifully simple three-part formula. That's it. Seriously. Spend less than you make, invest what's left over, and stay away from debt. Collins is crystal clear on this. If you just do these three things over and over again, you will end up wealthy. It's not some kind of magic trick, it's just math and discipline. Okay, so when it comes to how you invest that surplus, the good news is you don't need some crazy complicated portfolio. In fact, the book argues you really only need a super simple two-fund toolkit. Your number one tool is your wealth building engine. It's a low-cost, total stock market index fund. The classic example in the book is Vanguard's VTSAX. See, by owning just this one thing, you basically own a tiny slice of thousands of companies all across the U.S. economy. It's as simple and powerful as it gets. And your second tool is all about preserving that wealth. This is usually a total bond market fund. Bonds are just generally less jumpy than stocks, so they act like a shock absorber for your portfolio. They just smooth out the ride. And that becomes way more important the closer you get to actually needing to spend the money. But here's the thing. Having the right tools is only half the battle. The most important piece of this whole puzzle is having the right mindset so you can actually stick with the plan when things get a little scary. And that right there leads us to the single biggest fear. The one question that knocks more people off the path than anything else. What happens when the market crashes? Collins is really direct about this. He basically says that until you get a handle on this fear, it will be deadly to your wealth. It's what makes people sell everything at the absolute bottom. So the only way to beat it is to really understand some core truths about how the market actually behaves over time. And this slide illustrates the most important truth of them all. I mean, just look at this. In 1974, the Dow closed at 616. 40 years later, it's sitting at over 17,000. Yeah, the ride is bumpy, there are wars, recessions, all sorts of crises, but the long-term trend is always, relentlessly, up. So you have to drill these facts into your head. Market crashes are totally normal. You should expect them. The market has always recovered. And here's the kicker. Unless you hit the panic button and sell, a crash doesn't actually matter to your long-term plan. It's just a temporary sale price. And that brings us to the final and most powerful mental shift of all. Instead of being terrified of market crashes, the book challenges you to see them as a good thing, like your favorite store having a massive sale. As Collins says, what wonderful buying opportunities they'll be. And that right there is the secret of the simple path, turning your biggest fear into your greatest advantage.